In this training video, we're going to have a look at equipment loaning. We'll start by doing a bulk loan, multiple pieces of equipment, and finish up by loaning out a single piece of equipment in case you also need to do that. To add a bulk loan to the system, start on the Tools menu, choose Gear Loans. We haven't got any loan records at the moment, so let's create one by hitting Add a Loan. You can name it whatever you want. I will call ours Training Loan. Save the loan record. This currently doesn't have any equipment on it. We need to begin by adding some. One way to do that would be to hit the plus icon, browse your equipment inventory and start adding equipment to the loan that way. With a large equipment inventory, that could be quite a painful operation. Instead, a much more natural way to do that in our app is to scan barcodes or QR codes or near field dots and scan them straight onto the loan record, or in our web browser version to search by serial number. Let's do that. We hit search. Let's pop in the start of one of our serial numbers and add that piece of equipment to the loan. We find it and it's been added. Let's add a couple more to make our loan record more interesting for the purposes of this training record. Add a final piece of equipment. Note also that this tool does have the ability to automatically search whenever you stop typing and lets you filter between exact or partial searching as well, making it quicker to access your serial numbers even if they're quite long. We've now added 3 pieces of equipment onto the list. We can hit close. Back on our training record, we can now see we've got 3 pieces of equipment all in a good state and ready to be loaned out. So let's move on and have a look at loaning out the equipment. Remember, you can get back to your loan record at any time if you're not ready to loan it straight away, just by going to Tools and Gear Loans. And conveniently, on your loan record, you'll see a button where you can loan it straight out. If you need to adjust the record, pop it open and add more equipment to it. Let's loan these 3 pieces of equipment out. Hit the loan button, pick a user, so we'll allocate this to one of our users. It will pre-populate their details as being the person responsible for the loan, and you can now specify when it should be due back, the time of return, and any other kind of legal or disclaimer options that you need to record. Down at the bottom, we can now see all the items on the loan pre-ticked and ready to be loaned out. Hit the record the loan button and this equipment will be sent out on loan. We're back on our loan record again now, and we can see the 3 pieces of equipment are now on loan. We could use our loans report or look at the equipment itself to see who it is that's got that and when it's due back. Do have a look at our training videos which cover our loans report as well. When the equipment's loan has been finished, we need to check it and return it back into stock. Again, return to the loans menu at any time by going Tools and Gear Loans. We see now the button on this one has changed to return, as it knows the equipment is currently out on loan. We can pop it open, see what's inside of it, and ready to return it back into stock. Hit the return button. A couple of options it's worth understanding first. The first one it's opting for us is to say, would you like to give the equipment the same status it had before it went out on loan? And for most of your equipment, yes is going to be the natural answer to that. Unless, of course, as we'll see in a moment, perhaps a piece of it has been lost or damaged. You'll notice also that on our training account, we have configured it so that whenever a loan is returned, a usage record is automatically created rather than giving the user a choice. This ensures we get a rolling history of who has had each piece of equipment. That's an option that you can access by going to Account and Profile and turning that on for yours. Alternatively, you can leave that unchecked and instead allow the users themselves to decide whether they will create a usage record when equipment is checked back in. Looking at our loan record, we see the 3 pieces that went out on loan. However, let's suppose, for the case of this example, that one of those pieces of equipment was lost while it was out on loan. What we can do here now is just take the time to record that specific problem on this incoming loan. We'll click the one in question, this belay device, which will open it up down below. And what we can do now is bring that one back into stock, but mark it as being missing or quarantine if it was broken. Let's return it back in and we'll give it a status of missing to indicate that it's been lost. We can now close that one and update our list. So looking at our loan list now, we still see 3 items. One we've marked as missing, the other 2 are absolutely fine and simply need to come back into stock again. We'll hit return this loan at the bottom, back to the loan screen again, and now we see the equipment is back in stock again, 2 items are good and 1 is missing. We can delete this loan record now if we're finished with it. Remember, the equipment will have a usage record showing who had it, and that will create a continuous history of each time the piece of equipment is loaned. Alternatively, you could also archive that loan record, which will save you from seeing it on the display, but enable you to get back to it again in the future. If you did wish to archive the loan record, we're just going to hit edit on it here, change its archive status to yes, and save it off, which will cause it to disappear, but still be present on the system. If we wanted to see those loan records again that have been archived, change that filter back to yes, and we can see loan records which have previously been archived. Let's now just have a quick look at how we would loan a single piece of equipment out. You're more likely to want to create, just as we did, aggregate or bulk loans of equipment, but it is possible that you'll want to allocate a single item to somebody. You can do that directly on the equipment screen. Hit equipment to get back to your equipment view. I will clear my filter so we can see that our full inventory. And scroll down, choose a single item that we'd like to loan out. We'll take an example of a pair of climbing shoes. If we open up that piece of equipment, we can see here on its icons, there's an ability to loan that piece of equipment straight away. So if we click loan this piece of equipment, pick a different user this time, we'll pick Jane. Again, same screen, we're choosing the user, it's pre-filled with their personal details. We can specify when the loan is due back, including the time, and any other details of the loan that we need to record. And when we're ready, place the equipment out on loan. We can now see that that piece of equipment is on loan, and if we open up its loan record, we can see who currently has it. As previously mentioned, the report for loans on the reports menu is a really good way to get an overview of any outstanding loans that you've got and check who had them. Hopefully that's been useful and you've gained an overview of how to create a loan record and do a bulk loan, but also how to loan out single items of equipment should you need to.